You know what? There's a funny thing about language. We can read it, we can write it, we can even understand it perfectly when someone is saying it. But when it's our turn to speak, well, suddenly our mind decides to play hide and seek with words. Has it ever happened to you? Trust me, you're not alone. Everyone feels it. I remember this one when I was in a cafe. I was overhead with a guy trying to order coffee. Now his English was pretty good. He knew exactly what he wanted, but he lacked sentences like in order to express what he desired. He knew the item that he was about to purchase, but he lacked the confidence. He lacked the sentence that he should be speaking. I could see the gears turning in his head, and all I could think was, "I've been there, man. Don't worry, you'll overcome it." The fear of speaking English can sneak up to best of us. So why does it happen? Why is that we understand English perfectly, we write it perfectly, we think in it perfectly, we understand it perfectly when someone says it, but when it's our turn to speak, we just lack. Why does it happen? We feel like our tongue has, tied itself into a knot. The truth is, it's not about your language skill, it's about confidence. And today in this video, I'm here to make you untangle with those knots so you can speak English with confidence that you really deserve. Don't worry. First, let's talk about where fear comes from. Imagine you're about to speak, and suddenly a little voice in your head starts whispering, "What if I make a mistake? What if people laugh? Or what if they don't understand me?" It's like having your own personal critic towards yourself. It's like having your own personal critic living rent free in your mind. But here's a secret: everyone has this voice, even native speakers has. The difference is they have learned to ignore it. You have to do the same. Now let's get one thing straight: mistakes are not your enemy. In fact, they're your best friends. When it comes to learning, let me tell you a story about my friend Ravi. Ravi was terrified of speaking in English because he didn't want to make mistakes. But one day he decided to face his fear. He walked up in a group of tourists and said, "Can I help you if you've lost your way?" Instead of find your way, he had done a mistake. Now they all laughed, but in a good, natural way. And guess what? He laughed too. That mistake, this became the moment when he started to learn for real, in real life situations. Here's another tip: find a safe place. Where it's easier to practice, when you know that you won't be judged. For me, it was my washroom mirror. It was my room. I was in my comfortable zone, and then I was practicing it. No joke. I'd stand there and have a full conversation with myself. How's the day going? Oh, is it going great? Oh, thanks for asking. So it sounds silly, but it works. You could also practice with your friends who are supported towards you. Join an online language community, where places where you can stumble, fall, get back up without fear. Let's talk about vocabulary. Have you ever been in a situation where you know that what you're going to say, but exact word had just slipped away? Like you're trying to deserve, a word, and instead of that word, you can recall complete Oxford dictionary. But other than that word, you know everything. Don't worry, it happens to everyone. Building a vocabulary is like collecting tools for your language toolbox. So the more tools you have, the harder it gets to find it. It's obvious. Now, and don't just memorize words. Learn phrases. They're like pre-packed sentences that you can, whip anytime when you require it. If you remember vocabularies and word meanings at a particular time, you might, forget it. But if you remember complete sentences, if you know the complete, sentence structure, you won't forget it, since it's, situation oriented, and you won't forget the sentences. Now, one of my favorite ways of practicing speaking English is that retelling stories and summarizing what I've just heard or watched. Imagine you have just finished watching an episode of your favorite TV show. Now, instead of moving towards next episode, try to explain the plot by yourself, or better yet, to someone else also. So there is a guy who is secretly a superhero, but nobody knows except his cat. So retelling helps you to structure your thoughts before you know it, and speaking becomes the second nature. Now let's talk about routine. We often hear practice makes a man perfect, but I'd like to say practice makes permanent. It's not about being perfect. It's about making speaking a natural part of your day. It's like brushing your teeth or checking your phone for just like the first thing that you do in the morning. So start small for a few minutes of reading aloud, a quick conversation with a friend, or even thinking in English. Yes, you heard that right. Thinking in English. You're standing in a line, thinking like instead of wondering how long will it take in order to form sentences in your brain. I just think I'll have a cup of coffee after this. Easy, right? Just whatever you observe, you feel, you go through, just talk to yourself in English. Now, power of positive affirmations will help you to get rid of your confidence. Let's see. Confidence isn't just a skill, it's a mindset. If you keep telling yourself, I can do this, guess what? Your brain believes it. But what if you could flip the script and say, I can speak English confidently? You start to feel it. Try this. Every morning, look into the mirror and say, I'm confident about my abilities of speaking English fluently. It might feel a bit awkward at first, but soon you'll notice a subtle change. And while you're at it, visualize yourself as a situation where you're speaking English perfectly, ordering food in a restaurant, or giving a presentation, or chatting with friends. Visualization is really powerful, and it prepares you for your mindset for the success. So there you have it. 7 steps of building confidence in speaking English. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to try it out. Now, the more you speak, the easier it gets. For the next time, the little voice in your mind try to say at you otherwise, just say, thank you for your concern, but I've got this, because you do. So, I'll leave you with this. Speak as though every word you say holds the power to change the world. Because you just might say, so go out there and let your voice be heard. You got something valuable to say, and the world needs to hear it. So by this line, I would like to conclude my message that you can really get rid of this problem. Since you have watched this video till the end, you have learned several things from this video, and don't worry, you will utilize it. I trust upon you. We'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care of yourself. See you in the next one.